Welcome to Framework Fortune and welcome back, Framework Fortune community. I'm your host, Ben, and it is past time for your Friday episode of The Last Rip, where we take a look at top gainers on the day and recap any trades that I took. Now, this episode, I'm going to do things a little bit different because we saw SGOC rip very big on Friday, and we saw CARV, C-A-R-V, rip very big on Thursday. Both of these plays I was in very early on. So I went back through the live stream footage, and we're going to go through that footage and see what those two stocks had in common with why they ripped, and see if we can figure out what we're looking for right now in this market where we're getting these humongous rips. What stocks do we need to be looking at, and where do we need to take entries at? So I appreciate everybody being patient and waiting for this episode, but let's run the footage back from those two live streams, the clips that I took from it, and let's see if we can point out the similarities in those stocks, and then we'll come back here and talk about it. CARV, it's a nice little U-shape going on there. Hopping in there at 10 shares and at 18. I'm not going heavy on this because today's a weird day. This is pushing up. May get rejected at 19. We'll see. That's where my profit target is. Quick little scalp. Let's see. Oh no, no, blowing through 19. And we just got halted. So very nice play. Now I'm kind of kicking myself because I only went 10 shares. SGOC. Getting a crossover on this. Let's put this on the watch list. This all of a sudden started popping up. Volume coming into it. So I got 337. Break at 350, this could start moving. That 20-day just crossed on the 5-minute. Looking good, getting a bounce off of 350. Let's see if we can test 4 one more time. We test 4 one more time, which we didn't quite test it last time. We didn't quite get to it. So, looking forward to still test here on this candle or the next. As long as we hold the 20-day moving average here on this, we're good. We're starting to get to cross on the 15-minute though. So now that we've watched that back and we've seen some of the similarities, let's really dive into these charts and figure it out. We saw the 20-day crossover, all the EMAs on both of these plays. Now looking at these crossovers, I'm decided I don't think it's necessary for the 50 and 100-day on these smaller time frames, because the longer the time frame, the stronger the support and resistance and the stronger the EMAs. So looking at these on a 5-minute, you can see once the 20 crosses the 200, that's the only crossover that actually matters. These other ones didn't matter that much, so I think we can actually take those off and not even use these EMAs. Now, of course, if you like the EMAs because you don't have to draw out that support and resistance, then go ahead and use them. There's no problem with it. That's why I taught you guys how to use them for those new traders out there. But to simplify this, it's clearly when the 20 crosses over the 200. It started a little bit in pre-market on CARV. You can see here the 20 came up. As soon as it crossed the 200, it got to pop up. And then, of course, it sold off. When it came back up, though, and broke again, that's when CARV got the really nice move up to 12 something. If we go out to 15-minute charts, you can really see it pretty clearly. Right there, the 20 crossed over early on the 15-minute. So when we're looking for these big, massive breakouts, I'm thinking we need to be looking at the 15-minute to see that 20 cross over. Once the 20-day moving average crossed over here on the SGOC, it never dropped back below this EMA on the 15-minute chart. Now, CARV actually crossed it the day before it went on the really big, massive spike. It never dropped below the 20 on the 15-minute chart, except for these two little times right here, this one and this one. And when it did, it came right back above the 20. So it still held the 20 on the 15 minute. We could see that CARV was still bullish in the after hours in the pre-market right here before it had this last little pop on Friday. Now, the other thing is we take a look at the volume. SGOC has about the same amount of volume the 2 days that those both started getting a little bit of action up. And then the next day is when they've got the explosions of volume. Now, if we look at the daily charts, there is a similarity. I know you can't see this part of the chart behind me other than this big candle, but the similarity is coming as these both hit lows of year and have been slowly getting buying volume up, moving on little uptrends. I mean, these are just the faintest uptrends, but you can see it's the ones on the yearly chart that are holding right above that 200-day moving average over a few months. So if we find other stocks that have those similar daily charts, they have a little bit of volume starting to pop up in them, and the 20-day EMA crosses over the 200-day on the 15-minute chart, then that right there should give us the target to be able to catch these plays before the big rips. That's why I went back and looked at that footage to see what I was thinking in my head, what exactly I was looking at. Because with all those EMAs on there and all the lines that I draw and stuff, there's a lot on the charts. And I don't want to be that type of trader where I have so much on the charts. My goal is to come up with the simplest to understand and easiest to apply strategy that there is for day trading, because I want trading to be as easy as possible, because I have all kinds of other stuff to do, like record videos and edit videos and phone calls and networking and all of that. So I'm going to try to continue to shrink down the strategy till we have it targeted. So we'll see if this checklist works for tomorrow morning. So we'll get back this week to covering more ticker symbols in the last rip, but I wanted to really take some time and go back and figure out my strategy. And that's why it's important to keep some type of record of your trading, so you can look back and see, oh, what did I do wrong there? What did I do right there? You can easily just record your trading. I'm live streaming, so it's automatically recording, but you don't have to have a YouTube channel. You can just download a recording program for cheap. There's plenty of free ones, and just press record and leave it going while you're trading and not paying any attention to it. Then you can have a video journal basically to look back on, which me is better than writing your trades down, because I have a lot of thoughts going through my head all the time. So trying to remember what happened when I traded 20 stocks this week from one stock, exactly what was going on, that's hard to do by just looking at some numbers on a piece of paper. But with that video footage, I can go back and do things like this, where we continue to grow our strategies and add to them or take away things we don't like. Maybe these adjustments will end up only being for the short term, or maybe we're getting closer and closer to a very strong strategy that can be very profitable if you apply it right. Friday, I did take about $87 in losses on the multiple trades I took, but I did not lock in profits on any of them. I was even up like $60 on CARV and did not lock that out. That is bad trading. That's not sticking to the strategy and applying the strategy the way it's supposed to be applied. I'm excited to see how this works out tomorrow, see if we can nail down another one. I do think SGOC is one to keep on watch again for another possible run, but we could see something else pop up out of nowhere. And I also have a couple of new scanners to try out tomorrow too, that we'll see how they work, and then if they work really well, I will do a video on how to set those scanners up the way that they're set up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this look back at the trades from Friday and Thursday for this episode of The Last Rip. Overall, the SPY could open up, go up tomorrow, it could drop. It's over the weekend, so we really don't know. And again, I appreciate everybody being patient on this episode, and I hope that the wait was worth it. We'll be back tomorrow morning for some more live stream day trading around market open. If you haven't joined us yet, you should come join us. It's a good old time. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.